Long ago in ancient Greece, a great conqueror and duke named Theseus ruled Athens. One day it was made known to him that Creon, the lord of Thebes, had prevented 4 women from retrieving their husbands' remains after their death. This prevented them from having a proper burial. Outraged at Creon's disrespect, Theseus stormed Thebes and took it from Creon. He returned the remains to the mourning women, and on his way back to Athens he discovered 2 Theban soldiers that had been wounded during the conquest. Theseus mercifully healed them and gave them a life of imprisonment rather than death. The Theban soldiers were named Palamon and Archite. They were imprisoned in the same tower for many years. One spring morning, Palamon awoke early and saw a beautiful woman outside of the window. He watched her make a flower garland and fell in love. His cry of love awoke Archite, who, after seeing the beautiful woman, also fell in love. They argue about who loves her more, but soon stop after they realize that arguing is pointless, because they are both imprisoned in the tower. Many years later, a duke named Protheus petitions for Archite's freedom. Theseus agrees on the condition that Archite be banned from Athens. Since he is banned from Athens, Archite has to return to Thebes where he mourns, because Palamon can see the beautiful woman every morning. At this point in the story, the knight questions who is worse off: Archite, who cannot see the beautiful woman, or Palamon, who gets to see her every day but is imprisoned and has no hope of getting out. Years continue to pass, and neither man ever gets over the beautiful woman, who we later find out is named Emily. It occurs to Archite that he could disguise himself and sneak back into Athens to speak with her. With an improvised disguise, he gets into Athens, but it turns out that on the same day he sneaks in, Palamon gets released from imprisonment. They encounter each other and realize that they both still love Emily, so they have a duel. The sound of 2 men mutilating each other gets the attention of Theseus, who is on a hunt. Realizing that they are fighting over Emily, he decides to settle the dispute by holding a tournament in 50 weeks. Each man can bring 100 men. They will fight to the death, and the winner gets to wed Emily. In the 50 weeks leading up to the tournament, Theseus erects an enormous stadium, and both men ask the gods for help. Palamon visits the temple of Venus, the goddess of love. He speaks of his love for Emily and asks for her help in battle. Palamon thinks Venus will help him, even if there is no clear answer. Archite goes to the temple of Mars and begs the god of war for victory. He receives a positive sign. Then the gods have a meeting among themselves. Saturn, Venus's father, assures her that Palamon will end victorious. The 50 weeks pass, and the group gathers for a large feast. Then the battle is commenced. The armies are skillful and the fight is bloody. However, Archite capitalizes on his chance and slits Palamon's throat. Venus, the god that was trying to help Palamon, weeps, but her father Saturn assures her that the battle isn't over yet. At Saturn's command, the earth shakes and Archite is thrown from his horse. His chest is crushed. In his last words, he advises Emily to consider marrying Palamon, because he has many characteristics of a knight, and he is worthy of marrying her. Initially, after Archite's death, Emily does not want anything to do with Palamon. Emily and Palamon both mourn for years over their lost friend. They walk about the city dressed in black and sad all the time. However, years later, they end up wedding. They learn to enjoy each other, and they have a long, loving, and happy marriage.